We'll call the meeting to order. Young County Commissioners Court, sitting in a regular meeting, Monday, March the 12th, 2018. It is 9:30 a.m. If it's convenient, if you will, please stand for the invocation and the pledges. Is that you, Matt?
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. So graciously thank you for the rain that you have provided for us to green up our pastures and fields. We ask that you be at the men and women overseas that help protect our country. We ask that you look over us, guide, and direct us as we have this meeting to do things in your way and in the way that people need us to do it. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take due note that this meeting was published and posted in the manner and for the time required. And then with the exception of Commissioner Sipes, all other members of the court are present. Item number 3 is public comments, announcements, presentations. There's no action items. One note that the Graham Convention Visitors Bureau food truck competition is coming up on June the 2nd, 2018. It'll be held right here on downtown square. And another note here, I've got noted that congratulations to the primary winners of elections and good luck to all of those who have runoffs May the 22nd, I believe, is when runoff elections are. Is there anything else that we need to do? Do any of the members out here in the public need to make any kind of announcements? Let us know anything that's going on. Okay. Very good. We'll move on to item number 4. Consider county clerk's minutes from previous meetings. That would be February the 26th and March the 1st, 2018. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made to those minutes?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve those minutes as presented. All in favor? 4-0. Item number 5 is to consider auditor's budget amendments, payment of vouchers.
I don't have any budget amendments today. I do have vouchers, and there is non-butane is included. Total of the vouchers is $276,966.43. Out of the general is $151,593.29.
So moved. Okay.
I'll make that motion. So moved on.
I'll leave them there.
Second.
Wiley abstained, and Rogers first.
Well, okay. Rogers, Pruitt. Have a motion by Commissioner Rogers, second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve the payment of vouchers payable. All in favor? Make that 301. Noting that Commissioner Wiley has abstained.
Now, also, I have a quote from Biz Protect for a printer, JP and Alney. Their printer is not working very good. So the quote is for $174. I asked to pay it out of JP Technology Fund, which, how much is in there, Nikki?
$40,494.
They have the money in there, over $40,000 in here.
So moved.
How much is it for?
$174.
Okay.
I'll say.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Rogers to approve the purchase of one printer for JP3 out of JP3 Technology Fund, or is it just JP?
It's just JP
Just
Technology.
JP Technology Fund. In that amount for one printer. All in favor? Carried 4-0. Okay. Item number 6, Treasurer's Financial Report from our Assistant Nikki. Do you have any reports you'd like to
No,
make?
sir.
You need to get up here and kind of speak a little bit.
Look how red
Oh,
she is.
Keep going.
Little red. That's just mean, isn't it?
They're just being mean.
We have no finances to report?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
149,533.05.
We must have ran out of money.
No.
Excess pledging going on.
Okay.
I'll move that. Unless
We say we're gonna have no action there, table that, or no report?
No report.
Okay.
I made a motion for security pledges for the 149,533.05.
Okay.
So move.
I'll second that.
Now, where are you making that motion on?
Security pledges.
Security pledges.
Yeah.
What?
Security pledges.
Oh, okay.
Right shy of 150.
Yep.
That's Pruitt and Wiley to approve security pledges as presented by Sierra Bank. All in favor? Carried 4-0. Okay, item number 7, consider employee bonds. We have one here for Robbie Scott Wallace. He's one of our adult probation officers in the amount of $5,000.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Pruitt to approve employee bond as presented on Robbie Scott Wallace. All in favor? Carried 4-0. Consider extension agent's request for reimbursement. Item number 8, Miranda Rebel in the amount of $894.33, and Justin Rogers in the amount of $2,278.12.
So moved. He traveled approximately 1,364 miles.
You traveled a little bit.
Well, I think they just got Houston completed.
I think it's this weekend, Houston, isn't it?
Well,
Says San Antonio on here.
Yeah, big shows this weekend,
well, they had the cattle. I think Rebecca Burgess did pretty good. I think she got hers.
No, that's a pig.
Huh?
Houston was a big deal. Brooke Riggins and, Rebecca Burgess got a pig,
They
got
got
a
a pig?
goat in the sale,
Go.
goat in the sale.
She enjoyed steer down there? Okay.
Steer shows this week,
Yep.
Well,
pig
congratulations.
shows this week.
Okay.
I think they've all placed pretty good at all the majors.
All in favor of the reimbursements as
Who's second?
I
presented?
did.
Rogers. 4-0. Item number 9. Discuss February activity report for the jail and sheriff's department. I have SO here, Chief John Orr and Captain Netterville.
Your Honor. Remember, this is court, remember, this is recorded.
That's right, I can't say. All right, Sheriff is out of town, so we're gonna present for him. But this is February's, we had a total of 64 calls. They were down, quite a few, even livestock complaints were way down this time. I don't know if everybody's feeding them, get fences fixed, what we got going on.
Grass is growing.
Grass is starting to grow, maybe. 57 civil process papers served. We took one person into custody for mental health reasons. That was in February. We've didn't match that or maybe more since in March. Made 8 arrests, 167 traffic stops. 28 of those resulted in citations. Miles were down also, 8,754 miles is what we drove this month. Again, we had 2 deputies that were in training out of state, so they cut down on a lot of our miles. We had 2 forensic interviews, 2 drug-related charges. One of them was possession of methamphetamine, and the other one was possession of marijuana.
Did you find your missing person? There's one on there.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah. That missing person was just a call. We got there and they weren't missing.
What, okay.
Is that out of my house? He's still missing.
The mental health detainee, was it admitted to hospital?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was our frequent flyer individual that we,
Dark Canyon?
Dark Canyon area. Yeah. And he was admitted for close to a week, I think, how long his vehicle was at the office.
He wouldn't live with you. Keep going straight on here.
Okay.
Good.
Anything else?
I wanted for the,
I like the pink image.
well, you know, my,
It adds to it.
yeah, my printer's,
Pink for a long time.
I don't know what's up with it.
$167 you get it.
174.
174.
No, I can't spend money.
It comes out of computer payments.
Oh, okay. Anyway, as y'all see in population last month, we averaged 62 inmates a day. Our travel time was, and mileage was down, we're normally around 2,700. We did send 5 to TDC, we picked up 3 out of county warrants. We had 4 that got transported either to Wichita Falls or to Abilene to Oceans for MHMR commitments. The 2 that went to Graham Regional for normal care, we have a pregnant female that's serving time out of county court. That was one of those for some tests. The other one was for an x-ray to rule out TB. We're not holding any prisoners for any other counties at this time. And then, of course, you see we had 18 prisoners for the city of Graham at 71 days, and then 6 for the city of Albany for 14 days. Our population today is 53 as of this morning in the jail.
That's the lowest it's been in a while.
Yes, sir. And I'm looking at inspection, so I'm really trying to keep it down while we do some painting and light repair and that kind of stuff to get ready for inspection.
What about our reimbursements for TDC?
Well, I don't know what the holdup on that is. I'll be honest with you. They said that we probably would get that by the end of February, and we haven't received a check yet, so,
February's come and gone.
yes, sir. But
They didn't say what February were.
our reimbursement, you know, they paid us up till April of last year.
Which town
No, the state.
Oh, okay, I got it.
TDC pays us 50 cents a mile when we take our inmates to a facility. They changed the way we report that to them back in April. So everything from that point on was on the new forms and all that, and they said there was a backlog, and they gave me all these excuses, and they said, oh, by February we'll have you paid off and we'll get back on track. Well, February's come and gone.
No, they don't have any money.
It's the great state of Texas. It's like they don't have any beds at the state hospital either, but they'll tell the legislators that they never go on deferment.
Now, if it's on
Is,
you, you better do it.
That's right.
These 4 persons transporting for MHMR purposes, is that transports to this float facility?
No, sir. Those were transports to Wichita Falls, to either Red River or to Abilene Oceans.
Okay. Or they were winding up being voluntary?
They were voluntary commitments, yes, sir.
Good.
I never even heard of Oceans in Abilene.
It's the old Abilene Mental Health Unit. Oceans bought them out and reopened it. And they've been very helpful when we had, they took,
It's not that far.
it's not, and when Red River's full and they don't have a bed, they've been taking them. So we've been pretty fortunate.
About probably 30 miles difference between Wichita and Abilene.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Any questions? Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Let's move down to item number 12. Do we have this in the package?
Yes.
Yes. Also, I need to itemize his, what's his name?
Friedman?
Friedman. I need to itemize everything that we done and then send him a bill. I need to do that today. That's what I'll do. Try to get it done.
If you get it worked up, we've got a little invoice thing.
Okay. I'll just itemize material and man hours and equipment hours.
Do we need to put that invoice through Commissioner's Court before we send it, or y'all want to?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
I think Commissioner Pruitt, Commissioner Wiley did all that, so they need to be comfortable with everything reported. You'll need, at least come out of your office, you'll need to, approve all of it, I think that.
I said 3 loads of rock and then the rest is gonna be man hour and machine hour.
Figure.
But
Everything
you
else
probably
you
need the invoice by each precinct, how many hours, and
Okay.
what material and equipment you use, each place, man hours.
Yeah, so that money will go back into their lines because it was their
Right,
stuff, so.
What they're talking about is dressing up the Brazos River Bridge a little bit for this company. For the next production of the highway, we're gonna do some shots out there this week.
It looks very nice.
I observed it from the other bridge I was going by.
I've had people
It looks
ask,
good.
I've had people ask if they could start, they would have, we give them permission to like take pictures out there, senior pictures and stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't have a problem with that, do you, Jim?
That's nice.
It looks really nice
It's a
now.
nice bridge.
Now,
Are they gonna pay for the gates or?
Long as you keep traffic off of it.
yeah, well, if you go down there and see it, if they can get through those gates, they got a heck of a machine, because we drove those pipes, 5 foot?
10 foot.
10 foot into the ground. So if they run through those gates, they're gonna damage the vehicle.
So you've got the materials where you can invoice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did they contact the sheriff's department for?
They have, yes, sir.
Security?
And we will be helping them on Wednesday and Thursday.
But that's for, off duty?
Yes, sir.
Now?
Yeah.
You didn't hear it, he's gonna be the stand-in for Kevin Costner.
Really?
Yeah, as long as they see.
There's 3 different locations they're gonna use while they're here. That one and 2 more. so,
3.
Yeah.
3
I
locations.
know understand they're gonna use one on 209.
209 and then
And one
one
1191.
1191.
We'll Okay, this item number 12 is to consider acknowledge permission letter from Ronnie Harden, precinct 2 and precinct 4 to put pile material and rock and other materials on his property, on Harden property. Says I, Ronnie Harden, give Commissioner Wiley, Commissioner Pruitt, permission to put rock and other material on my land located on Harden Lane. Further give the permission to put up a gate on the east end of the old Brazos River Bridge, which is located on my property. You have the original? Okay.
We covered our stuff. So we put one up on the east end and the west end.
Yeah.
Both these done.
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Wiley. Pruitt. Approve letter of permission. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried 4-0. Okay, item number 13, this pertains to that. It's contract and a waiver of
Donkey ride.
yeah, it's a same company, I think same company put on the donkey ball over Newcastle. But they, on May the 5th, the old post office Museum and Art Center is gonna have they're gonna call it a donkey derby, I think is what they're gonna call it. 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I believe, in the afternoon, and they're gonna have donkey races. They've hired this company to do it, and they're asking permission to utilize that. Like a lot over here where our old LEC, our previous LEC used to sit. Tentatively put that on our calendar of events and don't see any problem, except I think I probably want to talk to them a little bit more because there's going to be livestock and things like that over there on that. We may want to have some kind of a little more specific release of any responsibility that might happen over there on that. We'll work on getting that, but
I see opportunity for free fertilizer.
excuse me.
I see opportunity for free
That's what I was
fertilizer.
thinking.
That's what I was thinking, free fertilizer. And I can't ride in this because it says you have to be in good health and
Yeah.
under 225 pounds, so
Yeah, I'm not there.
I'm shot out of both.
So moved on that.
Okay.
With you going ahead and giving them more specific
Second.
liability.
We have a motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Pruitt, to allow the use of our 502, I believe we call it, 2nd Street location for the old post office Museum and Art Center. Donkey Derby, scheduled to be a fundraiser event for that organization, I'm sure is what it is. All in favor? 4-0. And I will look into that because I think we probably ought to get old post office board of directors of the city or whoever to release us any incident that might happen over there in relation to that.
I think it's the Carmichael, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Carmichael, but he's the president. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. Is there any other matter here that we need to discuss a little bit on?
Burn ban.
Burn restrictions?
I don't see why we need that. We've got lots of green coming up and there's still a little fuel out there, but there's a lot of people need to do their prescribed burning and everything.
Things
right
are
now.
greened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's greening up pretty fast, stuff
Yeah.
blooming. I don't think it, we might have got cold enough last night, frost somewhere, down
And
those
we've
spots.
got a light frost, very light.
That's on one, two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I say no action on
Take no action on that?
that. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Auditor, it's nearly 10 o'clock, so you can get up here and get ready.
I'm ready.
Or we can take a 5-minute break if you wish.
Stand up here and talk to you for 5 minutes, but
How many, bids you have?
I have 5 bids.
Oh, thank you.
And I think all of our local salvage, we sent letters out to several. I put in the paper here in Alney and Wichita Falls.
You like Wichita, Illinois?
No.
Did you,
$150 to advertise.
were you contacted?
Well, that's a copy.
Oh,
Yeah.
were you contacted by anybody that did beat them?
There was one that had inquired and he had emailed Marcia and she sent him the information. And one thing, I was asked about the title. I have the title, but when they go fix it up or whatever and they get ready to register, they'll have to title it and it'll probably be like a salvage repairable. We had some instructions from the insurance company, which I didn't even know we had those the other day. But it's repairable. And every one that I talked to and looked at it, they all agreed that it was,
Was it ever assigned to the insurance company?
no, we can't. I did send the money to pay it off, we had not even made one payment on it at the time when that happened,
It was
through American.
American National, were they named on the title?
What they do is their name is a lien holder, and then we're on there as, so they'll have the title where it's pretty clear. Did I talk to you long enough?
Okay.
I'm gonna start splitting open envelopes.
Depends on who's watching.
It'll take a minute if I can get all of them.
I got 9:59. Get it.
From one more meeting.
Okay? No, I couldn't remember.
Maybe for a minute. Why?
The suspense is growing.
Drum roll.
I'm ready for that.
I got 10 o'clock.
Okay.
That is.
All right.
I'm gonna have to pay the lunch for about 30 seconds.
Okay, this is from
This is bids, we're opening the bids now on a 2017, is it F-150 or Chevrolet?
it's a Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
Half-ton, four-wheel drive.
Yeah, 1500.
Chevrolet 1500 four-wheel drive.
Yes,
Okay, formerly assigned to the sheriff's department.
yes. The first gentleman, it's a gentleman, Randall Dawson out of Graham, and he placed a bid of $3,000.
Okay.
Short and sweet. This one is Kevin Fullerton of K&K Motors, and he placed a bid of $3,227.80. Sometimes that 80 cents will make a difference.
That was 332,2780.
That's
3,227.
32,2780. Shook's Body Shop, Cody Shook placed a bid of 5,100.
Keeps going up.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Oh, this is the gentleman I met with on, I think it was Friday, Steve Smith out of Mineral Wells, Texas. And he placed a bid of $9,775.
What?
Ooh,
$9,775.
that's too much.
It did, it went up.
Well, I've got another.
All right.
No, I didn't. Well, let's see, this is from Graham Auto Rebuilders. Okay, and they put on there the amount, the damage to the vehicle, title, having the salvage title, what it cost to repair. They placed a bid of $3,800.
3,000.
Well, that's easy.
All right,
That was easy.
I say we award it to Mr. Steve Smith.
I second that.
I'll give him a call. He also, I think he's getting into some used equipment. He wanted to be put on our bidders list for
Okay.
even y'all's equipment that you
Okay.
sell sometimes.
That'll work.
We'll certainly add him to the list as per.
And we will want to thank
Well,
him
there
for
was
his,
just,
each one of them for the bids that we received.
$4,675 between the next one. Geez.
But that's about 3,000 more than what we got from the,
All in favor? 4-0. We'll award that bid goes to,
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
Out of Mineral
Out
Wells.
of Mineral Wells, Texas. $9,775. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
That's, we made $3,000.
We'll, our next item, we don't have it listed until 10:15, so let's take about a 10-minute break. Okay, we'll come back to order, back in session. It is 15 minutes after 10, March the 12th, 2018, and we're now waiting on our auditor. I guess, can you come up here, do you wish to?
But I'd rather wait for her.
Okay.
She's got all of it laid out here, I just mess it up. If you don't
We're
mind.
opening, what we'll be doing is opening and discussing to consider proposals for copier lease for county offices. I think we have a host of folks out here from interested in this. Appreciate you coming.
I seen you Saturday retrieving.
Excuse me?
I seen you Saturday retrieving.
Oh, yeah, I was. Joe well now.
Yeah.
With me.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Oxford,
Okay.
you got the floor.
We're gonna open copier proposals, and I have from 3 different companies, one being the current company that we now have. And
Which is?
High Tech out of Wichita Falls. Is that right? Ma'am, is that right?
No, I asked which company we have right now.
No, I'm gonna open Benchmark Business Solutions, and we do have a rep that's here in Graham now. And I think he's with us. And oops, excuse me. Would you hand? and one for Miss Kay.
We're taking it 2 years time.
Yeah. And then Hudson, Imaging out of Wichita Falls. Well, I don't remember. Here, we're gonna give her. And all of these companies have reps here today. I thought y'all might have some questions. Okay. Yeah.
We have some representatives from Benchmark.
Yes, sir.
Come on over here.
And all the companies, Trent with High Tech was nice, so he sent me a list of what we have now and everything that those copiers do, and I have forwarded them on to everyone, and I think, you know, our main thing is our scanning. Of course, our copying is number one, but our scanning is very important now in our high-tech world, and we like the fact that, and I had some questions, tell me some things. If it alerts you when the toner's low, I like that. And to get our toners here, that's really important. You know, High-Tech's been very good about getting our toners here to us, they're timely, you know. I mean, they have somebody coming, they say we're low, they send them,
Benchmark.
I'm wishing on the break.
Your benchmark? Yes, sir.
Okay, y'all have some,
You know, if y'all just get up here and kind of walk us through your proposal here, let us know what we're looking at.
Okay.
Where
Do
y'all
you want us
from?
to address her questions
From
first?
Benchmark, I mean, what town? Graham.
448 Oak Street, right here with the office.
Gotcha.
And in reference to what Cheryl said, I'm Dee Blackwell. I'm actually the sales representative. Kelly is here in our executive office. He's here, he and Jeff Horn office here and live here in Graham. And Art is our regional sales manager, and he actually lives in Abilene. So we're local all over the place. And thank you for letting us bid today. We appreciate that. We appreciate the opportunity. And like I said, we are local. We're members of the Chamber of Commerce. We sponsor a lot of different events in Young County. We have a lot of accounts here already, including the school district, some of the city. I mean, there's some references on the first page there. As, Southern Bleacher, we have quite a few references in there.
On the letter,
On the very first page.
first page.
Okay, yeah, if you so inside coverage, we have listed some of our references here. It's not all of them, just, we just want to give you an idea that we're already here.
so you have riches management in Young County appraisal also.
Yes, we do. And as far as keeping supplies here, that was the first thing that stuck in my head. With Kelly's office being right up there on Oak Street, we have room there that we would be able to keep backup supplies for you. So they would be very handy. That's all you have to do in an emergency is just call. Our machines are equipped with, we would load an XDA tool on your network. It's non-invasive, and it would alert, our software would alert us when you are low on toner, and it would automatically ship. The things happen, maybe your volume's extra high that month and you run out before, all of a sudden it's at 20%, the next day it's out. And so we would have safety stock on hand. Most of our machines will actually scan faster than they copy. If you look at that, we kind of pride ourselves on trying to put everything in writing. So we spend a lot of time putting a lot of things in writing, and I think all of our equipment met or exceeded your specs.
As you go through the proposal, I'm looking at you.
Mr. Judge Bullock.
Judge Bullock, but as you go through the proposal, each page, past the first 2 pages, has the different items that were specified. So you can see that there were 9 units specified with these specifications. Then I believe it was 2 with another specification. So it shows the specifications that you stipulated. In addition to that, it shows the product that we're recommending and whether or not it meets those specifications or exceeds them.
And these are Xerox brand?
These are all Xerox branded, yes, ma'am.
Carter, do you do some of the technical work?
Well, I don't do any of the technical work, no, sir. I do all the financing. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring to your attention too, is that one of the things I believe will make our proposal unique is that we own our own financing company. So all of the financing dollars will be, kept here at home. And in addition to it, it will give us more flexibility. So if for some reason, within the 5 years, if your needs change, we do have the flexibility, because we are local and we own our own finance company, we can make those adjustments. Property taxes are also included in our lease, and there is no documentation fee included either. So just some of the benefits there. So no, you don't want me coming and working on the copy. We have trained experts that come out of Wichita Falls, or we can dispatch them out of Abilene. There are plans to have a technician in that office. Right now, we currently do not have one, but that is the plan. We've got myself and Jeff office there. We've just hired an additional administrative support person who will start in a few weeks. And then eventually we do, with the growth that we're experiencing, we're gonna need to have one.
So what you're saying is like, you got a 5-year layaway with it, and if, I guess a copy is kind of like a computer. And for some years.
Yes, the lease is still the lease, I mean.
Right.
But we
But
own
you
our
can
own leasing
upgrade.
company, sure, we own our own leasing company, so we have that flexibility, whereas,
Right.
with some of these, Wells Fargo or some of these larger companies, you're not gonna get a lot of the flexibility that you will with a local leasing provider.
And speaking of long-term investments, 5 years is a long term, Xerox introduced a whole new line of equipment last spring. So you're getting it practically fresh off of that line. Now, it does have all the kinks worked out. It's been in place over a year now. But we think this technology could easily stay with you next 5 years. You buy a computer and you get it home when it's already out of date. But without our equipment, we feel like it's ready for the future. It'll scan the cloud. It'll do a lot of things you're not even probably thinking about doing right now. But it'll be ready when you're ready. And also in the long term, we have a Xerox backs us with a total satisfaction guarantee, because everything we do is Xerox pretty much. We do sell HP also, but most everything we do is Xerox. And they have it, it's in writing here in the proposal on the bottom part right here, that it has a 5-year total satisfaction guarantee. The whole term of the lease, if something happens on the equipment and we can't repair it for whatever reason, or it's breaking down a lot and you're not happy, then we'll come in and replace it with a like machine at no cost to you, just to finish out the lease. Bottom line is they want you to be happy with everything.
So your proposal has a base lease for equipment, and then we're gonna add for each copy.
Yes, sir.
What we did for black and a fee for color.
Yes, and we have
Which
that
is typical.
currently.
What we did is we had one billing month, Sam, what month was that?
It was last November, I believe.
November. So we knew what the volumes were in November. We didn't have an average volume for the whole year. So we picked that 1 month and we pulled the volumes that you ran that month and plugged them in. So what you're seeing is a base lease. And then you're seeing what we estimate the meter charges to be on the column on the right. Does that answer your question? You'll also notice that there's no charge for property tax. Analyst fees are included. Removal fees are included. And at the end of the lease, and you'll also see that we do not charge, never have charged shipping for supplies.
And also, I don't know if you said that or not, I didn't catch it, it includes an on-site trainer coming on-site and spending time with you until everybody feels comfortable with it.
You're getting it on the network, yeah.
That's what I was wondering too, like on the IT side, getting it set up, and
All included.
Marcia does.
So
our IT.
anybody new coming on, will y'all have trained me, or will y'all set them up on the original you would lose that?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, yes to both. We will,
Yes to both.
yeah, we will come on site, and all of our devices are set up to where we can do a remote solve for IT issues.
Right.
So we can remote in, we can take control of the control panel, show somebody how to do a feature that they may not know how to do.
Or connect a new laptop somebody's brought in.
That's the, I don't want to be just overrun with that.
No.
Get one here and there, but
Right. And we do come with preloaded apps like Scan to Dropbox, Scan to Office 365, Google Drive, Office 365, I said that, SharePoint, and about 40 different apps that I'm not, but I don't remember all of them.
Scanning's the big deal for me
Oh, yeah.
personally through our office. I mean, I scan everything, to be sent somewhere.
Sure.
Yeah, if you want, well, you don't have one of these. If you had here's a picture of the screen. I don't have a brochure with me, but the screen, it looks like an iPad. It looks, everybody uses iPads and Surface and that kind of thing anymore. And our user interface actually looks just like one of those, like a tablet. And you could actually just go and push, we could set up an icon and wherever you wanted it to go, like if everything was going to the treasurer's office, you could just push that one icon and it would go straight to where we had routed it to.
Let me get this right, the initial setup, y'all would come in and I would have you a list of everybody's emails and everything, and we'll do the initial setup and network to what offices, who, what.
Yes.
And do you use LDAP? It interfaces right into LDAP.
Okay.
So, and we can set up customized scanning screens. So if it's just one person that you're scanning to on a regular basis, we can put that person's picture right on the screen.
And also, if you need to make changes, you could do that from your office on your computer.
Oh,
You
not
can-
have to go stand up.
Yes, you can actually and push things out. You could remote into their computer, like if someone left, you could go in and delete their email and their fax number, whatever, then you can add them and everything just right from your desktop. Just
So like
by knowing
everything's
their
in your
IP.
Dropbox, you could just scan it from your desk.
Yes, I see you're on the very last page of the
Yeah.
proposal. Those are all of the different partnerships that Xerox has as far as scanning is concerned. So you'll notice that it's a pretty wide spectrum of pretty popular apps and software.
I did have an office the other day ask me, and I guess at this time they don't have the stapler option built in theirs, and they asked me if that would be a problem, and I said that might cost you a little more money, but I'm sure that if we need to make any changes on this, that.
Many of the machines on this quote ask you to build in stapler.
Okay.
So they may have one. Which office was it?
One of it,
It was the adult probation at Breckenridge.
Okay.
and one of them did not ask for a stapler. It was the one where there's one unit and 63 pages in it. I don't remember which office that was, just off the top of my head. But actually, the online stapler comes standard with it, so we
Okay.
couldn't take it off that.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there's no problem at all.
Okay. I mean, because some of them had asked for something a little different. And, Kay's got two in her office, so I don't know, if they did want something to change, we could get it done at the time we order machines.
And it's one of those things, like even next year, if you decided on most of the machines, they're flexible enough, we could add one. Now, not all of them. Some of them you have to order them configured that way up front, but some of them we could add it even after the fact. There, again, with our in-house financing, we can do a lot of things that other people can't and won't.
So
This 615 versus the 605. The 615 not do what the 605 will do, let's go.
Phil, you want to take that?
This, what is the speed?
It's a lot faster, but
Honestly, what happened is we got a very good buy from Xerox.
Oh, that's the one in adult probation? They pay for that themselves, we don't pay for it.
Yeah, but the 615 will do more than the 605, and it's $15 less.
yeah, we got that as a special deal from Xerox. I'm not sure, because it only needed one.
Mhm.
And we could check, it would be real close to that price, but I don't know if it'd be the same price.
So 15.99.
It is. We could check into that if you wanted to, but we couldn't guarantee we could do it, but we could get close to that price.
We're looking 14 units,
Yes.
14 different units.
And there are actually 15, I think, here, but one of them was not.
And there are three different, looks like three different models.
They pay for that there.
See, that's why I got.
There are three different models, but the interface, the user interface is the same on all. So if you know how to run some of them, you'll be able to run them all.
And I'm not sure.
They all got a button on.
They all have several buttons.
What interesting thing.
Several big buttons.
We could even put an icon on there with your picture on it.
Or than your
If you stand
phone.
at your desk, we could put your picture in.
And something I'll bring, there's one copier that is on a separate lease that won't be on this. It's the district clerk. After she came on, she needed a colored copy on there, and so we signed a different contract on it, she didn't sign it. But hers doesn't go out till October of next year. So other than that, this is all the extension office, this is all the copiers that we have.
Okay, and we've got, let's see, this is a total base price of $1292.67, am I looking at that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's monthly?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then with the additional add-ons, I guess we would say, or cost for the different types, apparatuses and inks and.
Well, the only fixed add-on is
Total
the
$1,949.48.
all in based on your November volume.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
And there's times like budget time when I'm making y'all a lot of copies, that might be a little more. We'll charge it back to your budget.
This is for November.
We're liable for the
ongoing service fees, yes, sir.
calendar,
It's all, everything's included but paper and staples.
everything's included in this lease.
Yes,
Yes.
but paper and
Yeah,
staples.
we buy the paper. And we're getting a pretty good price on that, and if they need staples, because some offices, I mean, I don't even use the stapler, I guess you do. So,
So you're looking at $25,842.96 for 1 year. Pretty much.
Oh, we got budgeted for the year.
I know that's
Depends on
what
your volume.
I just asked that. She
Yeah.
says we do it by office.
yeah, each
So that's
office
what I was
has it in
wondering.
the budget, I'm not really sure when.
So we could just save that and see what
Just be sure to be clear that what we were doing here was estimated at the bottom, in your estimated volume, because the payment and the base lease and the maintenance is all.
they. No, that's about right.
It's hard to,
I don't know. Anyway.
it just depends on what we do. How many people's in here in the clerk's office doing the copies? I mean,
Yeah, and I
it's
know
very,
when Timmy does
You know.
commissioners board agenda, she's not making as many since y'all look at it on your computer.
I'm gonna say to you that, us five sitting on here, really don't make very many copies.
And I would like to point out, just, so you get
Not
no more
Walmart.
questions, that we did win Benchmark did win the Better Business Bureau North Central Texas Award for Ethics.
My assistant over here now, she makes a few more copies than I do.
She's the color queen, I might say.
She may, part of that, I don't know.
I did like your logo for that.
Okay,
We're proud of that.
appreciate y'all coming and giving this. I don't know what I was gonna suggest. I'll suggest that after we hear, too, so.
But that was my main question is, how, about the toner, you getting the information, getting us the toners? Because when we run out of a toner, they're kept in my office, so it comes down on us when that happens.
We'll have toner a block and a half away.
Makes me feel bad. Well, like I say, we're
Kelly, say something
good.
about property tax, and I heard you say something about property tax.
Right now, we get a bill from Wells Fargo once a year on property tax. I looked up and see what we pay. We paid as much, $1,500 a year is the most we
Oh,
pay.
we're paying it to Wells Fargo?
We pay it to Wells Fargo for the machines.
It may be a property tax reimbursement from them, but it's not a property tax to us.
No.
no,
It's
We
just an
don't pay,
additional lease.
and I argued that fact with Wells Fargo, we don't pay property tax, and I'm sure High Tech them.
It's because on a lease, technically, they own the equipment. So they own the equipment, they're responsible for the property tax, so they're in turn just, they're billing to use.
It's a third-party leasing company. Basically, what you're doing is you're reimbursing them for the property taxes that they had to pay.
We're absorbing instead of passing.
Okay.
That's the
All taxes
flexibility.
included.
Yes.
All taxes are included, yes, sir, your sales tax exempt.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you all.
Johnny D, been a long time, oh, I saw you down here the other day, but
My cat Rover's having shoulder surgery, so he's out for a while.
he's not.
Yes,
Good. Tell him hello.
I'll do that. Thank
I
you.
wish him well on his recovery.
Thank you. I'm the one you need to.
That's what I was gonna say.
Thank you.
Okay, so who do you want to hear from
Let's,
next?
To the high tech.
That's our current, that's what we have currently. Shannon and Trent.
Okay, come on up here a little closer. Sure. I don't have mechanical ears on, so.
Oh, you better, yeah, get up here and kneel.
Quickly, maybe a little easier for, on here, this, on the, whatever it's called, page. This is everything you currently have and what the specs are and what we propose, so you can kind of see.
Okay, for our record, please introduce
I'm
yourself.
sorry. I'm Trent Dockstetter of High Tech Office Systems.
Chuck.
Shannon Ryan with High Tech Office Systems.
Okay, which one to get that?
Yeah.
You gotta get your voice. on.
Trent. Oh, okay.
We are out of Wichita Falls. Our ownership is in Wichita Falls and Lawton. We're not a part of a large corporation and so forth. We are who we are. As far as technology, whether you're looking at what we proposed or what Xerox, you're going to see a lot of similarities. Everybody can scan to cloud, everybody can scan to email. We've done one of the first companies to do automatic tunnel replenishments and so forth, so that's all part of it. And like it was said, we've always been, never been a problem about getting toners and so forth.
No, we've always gotten them very quickly, we appreciate that, and we always have them before we need them. And usually if Vicki, we're coming out for sales, if they see we're up, she'll bring them, and so we've never, that's never been a problem.
Do you have any local people here that you know besides us?
Yeah, we do. I'll be glad to get with you, Grand Interbank, a bunch of different specialists we've been here for a while, as well as you guys. The lease on the new lease, though, is a little different than what was before. The new lease does have property taxes included, no documentation fees. And the current lease you have, there is a responsibility to the county to return the equipment. I made a note that we would pay that if we were awarded the bid, so there would not be that expense. And then that the new lease, there would not be the charges at the end of the lease regardless of whether we were awarded the bid.
Is that amount in here somewhere?
That amount is not, we absorb that, but to give you an idea, there's 14 units. The cost to return a machine, probably $400. So if we were not to get that bid, 400 times 1,400, was that math, $5,000 that you would not have if you were to award it to us, whereas you would have that if we were not awarded it.
So what you're saying is if we don't award it to you, then it's gonna cost $400 per machine for you to come pick them up and take them back.
Well, officially, it was in the agreement, it's your responsibility to return them, that's
Okay.
per the
So
agreement.
if we return them, it wouldn't cost us nothing.
You have to return them to the leasing company.
Yeah.
So there is that expense, you're gonna have to, and they'll let you know where it is, and maybe for whatever they decide that you ship it to. It's pretty common in the industry. We were, back when we had done the bid before, that's how your leases were set up before. You try to get the price competitive that we had. That was what we were shooting for. Now we're offering where it would not be that. And I believe that's what from what I understood, Benchmark is offering their current one. At the end of that period, there would not be a charge, as there would not be a charge for us. As far as the flexibility of leasing, there's no anybody's lease is gonna be able to let you do a totally upgrade, co-termination, all that's pretty standard fare. As far as, you know, the IT side, trainings and so forth, I think our record speaks for itself. Anytime anybody needs additional training, we're always there for somebody. We also do remote serviceability. If they were to go with us, the transition would be very easy for like a lot of the equipment.
I work with one Friday,
Yeah,
remoted
Vicky,
in, and
yeah,
I've done
Vicky
some
Walker
stuff.
for
with
a
it.
Friday.
Yeah,
I know what,
yeah, so a lot of the equipment, we can, with our speed dial numbers and so forth, we can actually export the current equipment, any speed dial they have and so forth, and then save them and upload them to the new equipment, because they're so similar to what the current equipment is. So it's very, you know, the transition for the users, we can put the new equipment in. If they weren't there that day, they would know how to use the equipment walking in the door. But any speed dial numbers and so forth, all that would be set up.
So y'all bill for each copy?
Right, just like the, there's no minimums. Just, and I believe that's, from what I understood, the benchmark is very similar to that. They took a month billing of November, they took what those volumes were, and that's where they came up with, I thought the number was $1,900, whatever it was, that included. We're doing the exact same thing, and we're charging you for the black and white copies that you do, but only the copies that there's no minimums on that, and then also for the color. So without looking at the benchmark proposal, I think it's very similar. You could certainly, you know, we might want to ask them what their cost per copy is and so forth.
So we still get, like now, and I'm very likes it, but we get a bill from High Tech for the copies.
Right.
We get a bill from Wells Fargo for the lease each month, and it's pretty straightforward on there. We know what.
Right.
Which office has it?
I think it's depending on the month and so forth, it may be $600, maybe $750. That's ballpark of what that is typically.
We expect to get that $1,500 property tax fee too. for the year.
Well, it will not. On this, I had, on going forward on the new lease with you would not. All taxes are included, all documentation, there's no charge for documentation fee, there's no charge to return equipment.
That's basically gonna be, probably all three of them are gonna be having a lease and then a copy charge.
Yes, they should.
And if you want one payment, if you want to make a payment to High Tech for one payment, that is one bill that you can do, we could do that.
I think this has worked out fine the way it is, because Wells Fargo spells out each machine, and we know who has each machine, so
Right.
that's been
And I think we give you billing by department, what each
Yes,
department
yes.
ran, and so forth. And again, you only pay for what you actually use.
I haven't heard any problems about that,
No.
the way it's billed or anything like that. I think that's been running fine. That's information on my part.
You know, obviously I don't know what other companies have proposed. It sounds as if they met or exceeded specs, and that's fine. We actually exceeded specs, met or exceeded specs specifications that we currently have. Again, on my little thing, kind of shows you what the speeds of what you currently have and what we had proposed. I think we were like, on some of the equipment, because model numbers had changed, I think we're like 70 pages a minute on some, and a little bit
Currently,
faster.
what is it like? It's-
55,
Yeah.
so.
And I've had
anyway,
that a few people say, man, these
Right.
things are slow, but
Right, and if you want to add stapling on any machines, that's fine. One thing though, that, again, what we can do on flexibility, we're kind of coming up pretty quick, is when the date comes up, I believe it's the 7th, so going,
yeah, the contract's at 10, I
Okay.
think April 10th, so yeah.
so whoever you deal with, obviously they're gonna need time to order equipment, get it set up, and so forth. If you want to, if that's not enough time for you to evaluate, I can have the current agreement extended 30 days. It would be what you're paying and so forth. So if you do need that, because I do think that it's might be a little tough for you to evaluate and so forth, to get everything set up
Right.
and top. So if you want that, you just need to let me know, but I kind of need to let pretty soon so I can arrange to have that.
Okay, thank you, that, yeah, that, I don't know how.
We are also members of the Chamber Commerce there and involved in the community as well.
And, we talk about futures and so forth, we also, with our, increasing business, we plan to also have an office here, we don't have it yet, but, we want this to be a sales office.
We've never had an issue with maintenance, with them getting out here. If they can't walk us through it, they usually have someone around in town. or-
Right, we have enough accounts that you may call and we're in the town anyway, so it's not that big a deal.
But we're looking at a location here to put a salesperson as well as,
Sure.
yes, service.
Do you have any questions on that?
This, I don't know if it's page 3 or 4, but you got like 6 or 7.
Right, these are the machines that are in those different locations, so, and then if you kind of look at, this,
These are all the same.
right, this part here, this also says there were 9 units, which is those, that says that, and that tells you what those locations were. And this tells you that, the model, it tells, but I'll let me get back into that here in a second. All the features and so forth. The only thing that some of your equipment does not have, but ours going forward, does. And maybe the other companies do this as well. But from a security aspect, there are some products out there, some of our older equipment did not, that would support only SMB scanning level 1, Microsoft Windows 10, and servers and so forth, with updates will not support that. So you can see, because it's a vulnerability, some of the ransomware viruses used exploited that. And so all the equipment, that's why in yellow I mentioned all the products we have will support higher levels of SMB scanning. Just like you said, scanning is important. I just want to reassure you that we have proposed everything that would support all the new standards.
Marcia, do you have any IT question on your?
I've worked with high tech. I think I'm very pleased with it.
They have a copier upstairs, but they also have one in Breckenridge. Like I said, they pay, when we get the bill, they give us a check. They, and juvenile probation also has one. And they give us a check to pay for those. The county doesn't pay for their copiers. And they wanted a stapler added to the one they had. Yeah, sort of, we do.
Sort of.
Juveniles, I know what you were gonna say.
In a roundabout way.
We give them money, they pay for
And
it.
if you need that broken out, even the least, everything, we can break it, any way out.
No, I think it's broken out fine.
No.
We give them money, they don't give it all back.
Juvenile does, adult does, but, yeah.
As a dad of 3 daughters, I can relate to that.
Yeah, that's kind of how that goes. But no, I think the billing is, it's very transparent.
Adult does too, and they reimburse us.
Yes. Well, what they do is they don't reimburse, they bring us when Sherry gets the bill, she makes a copy of the bill, and they bring us a check, separate check, and we, juvenile and adult both, and we mail it in with you.
How long does it take to obtain the units or get them in?
Assuming there's no back orders, and of course that can happen. Usually it's about 10 days from the time the replacement orders and we get it set up and so forth. There can be, and I'm sure this is with any manufacturer, you can have all of a sudden there's this model or something else that, whatever, but obviously we're not going to order everything until you decide that's what you want. And I can find out within, a few hours, that everything's going to be shipped and ready to go. But that's why I thought if you wanted that 30 days extension, we could go out and we can even prorate that.
By the time the order placed, it'd be reasonably 1 week to 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think I would feel more comfortable with 2 weeks, candidly. These aren't just, you plug them in, you plug them in and put them in a box. That technician has to set them up and so forth, and you have to make sure all firmware updates have been implemented and so forth.
And then getting them here, and then there's so many here
Right.
at the courthouse, and then one out at the extension office. I mean, so we had one at Albany, we
And
had
it
them
is
scattered.
the transition of being able to switch out. So if we had in any department, typically most people would want us to use what's called the same IP address. So all of our equipment will, print drivers and so forth will work on the new equipment as it would the old. So if we were to replace whatever, probation office or whatever's machine, we would make it be the same IP address. You don't even have to go out there and
Right,
set up
I
print
was
drivers. It
thinking
just
you would give each machine the IP
The same
address on the machine I have.
Correct, right. So,
Existing.
so within, 5 minutes of the time we walk in that door and we boot the machine up and ready to go, somebody can hit a print job as normal, they're still gonna print. Which that is an advantage we have as a company.
Any other questions?
It appears just quickly looking at it, I think we're $30, maybe higher a month than what it appears that Benchmark was. I think that's pretty close.
I figured it up to about $5,000 higher than what they were for a year.
In a year. Now, what is their cost per copy of black and white and the cost per copy for color?
Well, it really wasn't really broke down, it was kind of taken into their,
Yeah, it's about the same.
It looked like,
About the same.
So,
yeah, 59, yeah, it is broke.
okay, so the monthly, the $13.35 on ours, and I think theirs I wrote down was $12.92, 67. So that base part, it's a little more than that.
Yeah, that's the main thing, well, I mean,
So if it's 40, even if it's $40, 40, so that's $480 a year, different. Let's just say 500 for easy math, over 4 years, less than $2,000 difference. And then, hopefully if we can save you $5,000 in shipping it back, that should put us a net savings of $3,000.
Not even figured that way, but I'll show you how I figured it out.
anything else? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And again, I appreciate the opportunity for been able to serve you guys.
yeah, how long have we, this is our second,
I think it's at least 8 or 12 years.
yeah, I look back, I think like since maybe 2010, maybe?
At least that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hudson Imaging.
This is Ron Storm with Hudson.
Morning, I'm Ron Storm.
Brian,
That's an image.
B-R-I-N-Y.
Ron.
Ryan.
R-O-N.
Okay, R-O-N.
Just made it kind of simple and easy for y'all. If you look at the second page there, I've offered you 2 machines. 11 of them are all in quartz and then the 3 color ones. So that makes you 14 machines. Make it simple and easy. As far as toner goes, we're gonna leave toner in Cheryl's office. So she'll have toner in her office. When they need it, she'll give it to them, she'll call us, tell us that her stock is down, we come replenish the stock. This is a government contract. It is for 5 years. There is no late fees, there is no property tax, and there is no return fees. I broke it down for you where the 11 machines, you see what a price would be for those. The 2 color copiers, the one that's here, the one at the dispatch office are the same, and then the one in the jail is a little bit different, so it's the less, but still the same machine. Wrote down your service and everything. We'll show you what you'll pay for black and white, what you'll pay for a color, and it's a cost per copy every one. The next page will show that I broke down each machine for each accessory, what it costs to the government. there where you get your toner. I also did a spreadsheet there for you. Spreadsheet will show you exactly what each organization would get. Shows what their cost per copy would be, what machine, what accessories they would have versus what you currently have. And on the last page of that spreadsheet, it will show you what your savings would be for the year. And then I did 2 months of maintenance that you all got billed. That was for December and January. Showed you what it would be, or what they paid, what you currently paid for those 2 months, what it would be for us. The other thing is our machines, they have a mobile print. It's free. You can use your iPhones, your iPads. You can print to the machines. If you go to conferences, you have jump drives. You can plug your jump drive into the machine, download your documentation.
What about on the networking?
If it sends us a meter reading, we can tie you into it, so you have a link also that you can see all the meter readings. It sends us for each machine. It'll send us meter readings, toner levels, it'll send us error codes, and we can tie in and everything. We can send technicians before you even call it in.
And on setting up the scanning and there, I mean,
We do all of that. If we need any help, we'll ask you for your IT. If they need something like logins or administrative rights, then we'll ask for that.
I need to say the name of these machines.
Here's Sarah. This is what the color machines would look like.
Right.
Or this is what they look like. This little finisher here will be on this machine. That's the internal finisher that comes with the 50. The larger finisher will be with the color machines.
Do we have one of these?
the one we use.
Is that what?
The big colored ones are here, Sarah's.
They have full size, not the internal one.
It'd be easy since there's only 2 machines, 2 types of toners. So you won't have a variety of toners that you have to keep in stock. We come to Graham at least once a week. So if Cheryl calls or whatever, we can make sure we have toner in stock for you.
And for our office, we have an office in Breckenridge and Albany. Is that an issue to get their toners?
Okay, you've got I already understand this.
Basically, it's one machine, and that's their price, and that's what their price is. That's the one in the jail. It just doesn't have the sorter.
Or does it have the stand or is it set?
No, it has a stand.
It has a
It
stand.
doesn't have the extra drawers, and it doesn't have a sorter. That's the only difference.
So that's why it's a little bit cheaper.
That's why it's cheaper.
Because dispatch is just like the one we
Yep.
have here.
With the extra sorter, the extra 2 drawers.
That makes it really nice. You have anything to add about your copiers, Patty? Or your copiers just fine? They're different. Okay, the one in the front's a little more heavy duty, because that's the one you use more than the back one is for customers.
Well, what about if we get, about three to five of you people together, to study these a little bit, bring us back. Guess you see your desires and recommendations, that you, what you think would best fit your needs, the people that make all of the copies, taking into consideration costs. Maybe there's not just a great deal of difference in cost, but I think you or some of your department, obviously Marcia she makes lots of copies too.
She scans a lot.
Kay makes lots of copies. Timmy uses it a lot. I mean, I don't personally use it a whole lot, but Timmy uses it a lot. And I'll use this big one. Who else would you recommend?
Maybe Teresa, since she, with the adult probation, and they pay their own, let them get them.
That's what I would say. There's a good bit of information in there that some of us are familiar with, some of us may not be so familiar with.
We may have some more questions where we could call each one on those questions. And
When do we need to make a decision?
we need to make a decision pretty quick.
I think we could probably have a decision made next week. We've got another little small meeting in a week. A week after Thursday.
Is it this Thursday?
Our next regular meeting is the 26th.
Right, but this Thursday, y'all post one for payroll.
I think we could probably have a decision made pretty quick on that. Is there anything else y'all would like to ask us?
Just one was, the various, we proposed a 48-month term.
I noticed
I believe
that.
this was a 60-month term.
Yes.
And what was your term?
It was not proposed.
60, okay. So we'd be glad to do a 60-month, but you had 48-month. And so you're not going to be looking at equipment for keeping machines over 5 years with ours. You're with 4 years, but we can give a term so that you can compare apples with apples on a 60 months.
That's fair.
It is, yes, it is, and I don't know, y'all may not want to do a 60, we've had
Right.
the 48.
Maybe we could have them do a 48 instead.
Do y'all's term, would it make any difference on 48 versus 60?
The payment is different, obviously.
Payment would be different,
Like
yeah.
benchmark?
Yeah, your payment would be different. I believe the specifications call for 60 months, didn't they?
I don't think it's.
Did it not specify?
But I understand what these two would be coming from, because now they know what's on the board.
I don't think that was specified. I think it
No.
would just bring us proposals.
And we have had the 40, like Trent said, I think this is 8 years that we've been with them, and it was 48-month terms, so.
Can they all have the same turnaround time though? Or we put everybody in the
We can
bag?
get you 48-month pricing.
No, I mean, getting the machines to us.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have $1 million worth of inventory in
Okay.
Lubbock, Texas.
Good enough.
Yeah.
I just don't want us to be without machines.
No, ma'am.
And I've kind of seen what Ron has kind of set up, how their billing would be. On Benchmark's billing, would we get 1 bill, 2 bill, but it'll be specified. And once we set, we know what equipment goes where. Because we have to charge it out to get to
They
count.
use, High-Tech uses the automate for the billing.
It shows how we bill it.
It's not that I have inside knowledge, it's just I don't want to be automated billing. And we can use that.
everything else, making it simple.
And we can customize your invoicing where you get one with the lease payment and the cost per copy.
Yeah, and like I said, it hasn't been an issue with the way it's done. Now, we're used to
One
it.
of the things, just to clarify, on our invoice, it would be all on one invoice, where now you're paying two. You're paying one to Wells Fargo and one to High Tech. Ours would all be on one, you pay one to Benchmark.
And that's
Right.
We can offer either way, whatever you
Okay,
want.
okay. Like I say, it hadn't been an issue. Sherry pays the bill, she knows what's what.
One at a time.
Okay, I think we'll notify you, of when we will make a decision, but I expect it'll be within the next
Few days.
2 weeks. So, appreciate y'all coming in and giving us.
When do you want the revised proposals, Your Honor?
Cheryl?
I mean, do we,
I don't know that I necessarily need one, but do you think?
I think as far as, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're asking, and we'd be glad today, this afternoon, I can get you a price of what our payment would be on a 60-month, and I would assume, maybe incorrectly, I would think everybody else would be able to do the same as well. So, am I correct that you would be able to provide them a 48-month payment today as well?
what is 60, I mean, going 60, does that make the price a little
Lower.
It's
lower?
gonna be too low. It's like a car. If you stretch it out further, it's no cheaper.
Yeah, 48 would be higher.
Yeah.
But you know, you look at 5 years.
Right.
I mean, it hasn't been a problem so far, but before.
Technology, some people
Yeah.
like to keep up with technology,
Well-
that's why 4 years, but again,
What
it's
I want-
often the same
What I
thing.
want the users to look at is the features on the machine and that they need and they want to see if there's any difference there, and what the difference is and maybe what the difference costs. So, I don't feel comfortable myself with making a decision right here, right today in this little short session. So I'll want to look at these and study them myself, and I'll sure want input from those users that are gonna be doing all the using of them. What do y'all?
I agree.
Sound like a plan.
Because I think they need to voice their opinion.
They're the ones using it, so
Right.
we'll see what input they've got. We'll go from there.
We can look, but I'm dollars, check that low dollar deal.
Well, look, I don't know,
Sounds
it's
good.
the best dollar.
It might not be just exactly what we need to do.
I'd just assume stay with the 60 month.
You like the 60?
Get a cheaper price.
We want Trent to give us 60.
If we just have one guy go to the 60, and then the rest of them are already at 60, so we just leave it like it is and go from there.
No, like I say,
I'll
price don't
have
always,
that price to you.
price don't always mean everything. Just because they're cheaper doesn't
Oh,
mean
I
they're
that's
better.
value, sure.
Well, once a machine, for all companies, once a machine breaks down, you'll send a tech to come to work on it and make a determination to replace it with a brand new machine or fix the old one.
If it can be fixed, they fix.
Yes.
Speaking for ourselves, we've always, and I think from what I understood, that Benchmark is the same thing. In the event that equipment cannot be repaired or replaced, we provide you a like machine. Now, if you're at the end of that term, it's gonna be, you had a used machine, or a machine that had, let's just say it had 100,000 copies on it, we're not gonna put, and I don't believe they are also, going to put in another brand new machine with 0 copies on it. It's gonna be a like machine. Now, we've never had to do that.
I don't think so. I think
And
they've always-
I think with any of the vendors, the likelihood of that happening is probably not very strong, but obviously you need to know that you can't be without it. So-and-so needs a machine, it's not, you don't wanna hear that we can't fix it. So we would repair it.
Any of y'all's agreements state that no longer than 2 weeks or 10 days or anything to be down before y'all can bring a new machine?
I'll be glad to put that, it's much less than that, I'm glad to put that in writing.
It's never been an issue.
It's fast, usually.
No, we haven't.
If I could respond, on our proposal, the second page, bottom of the page, that's our guarantee. And what it says is, if you're not satisfied with performance of our equipment, at your request, we'll replace it. You're the arbiter of whether or not you're satisfied. We require no hoops to jump through. So you decide if you're not satisfied, we'll replace it.
We would do the same thing.
And as far, I believe you were asking is about our service, how fast we would replace it. I don't think any of us would leave you without. I mean, that's, I know Benchmark would, we'd bring you something immediately until we figured out what we needed to do.
There's enough copiers in the courthouse. If it were down for a day or two, yeah, we can compromise, but after that, everybody gets testy.
They don't need to fall back on that excuse. Well, there's another one down the hall.
Yeah, you're right. And it would be a problem after a day or so.
Thank you all for
Very
coming.
good, thank you.
My paraphernalia.
Is there anything further that we need to? Yeah, we need to sign these minutes, sure, before we get going.
Let's talk about this week, big guy.
Okay.
You know, this first high-tech guy, that we've been using all this time, all of a sudden decides that he's gonna be $300 less than what it was on the previous one. And that's not counting the $1,500 that we get on a separate bill on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, last time, and I don't know how it happened, it was previous people, but we didn't go out for bids. We had them for a year, we didn't go out for bids, we really should have. I mean, we don't have to, but I think, you know, Eric worked with Trent and everything was going, and we didn't go out for bids. We probably should have because sometimes that's beneficial to us.
Well, if you just, honestly, I mean, you got Xerox, which is your Cadillac, and then you're going down to your Toyota. So it's just whatever kind of car
Well,
you want to drive.
I know the Caracers that we've had, I mean, I like our machine. I haven't had any trouble. You know, like I said, when there is a problem with the scanner or something.
Well,
In my opinion, I like the Hudson Imaging or the Benchmark. That's my two. I don't like your high tech.
Okay.
But
I mean,
that's just mine.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know
Well,
that
just
I
like
have.
Cheryl, I don't, when I go punch the button and it shoots me out of coffee, I don't like it.
I think all of the,
Other
like,
than what it costs, but,
Right.
I don't do a lot, I do a little faxing on it once in a while, but not much. It's been corrected now to where it's relatively easy to fax something on it now. It used to be very difficult. I'll scan documents and send them to my
I
computer.
scan a lot and see.
You know,
Everything's got a learning curve. Like when you get a brand new phone.
Well, I
You
don't
gotta
have
learn.
any problems with it.
We've never, you know,
Obviously, I don't know what y'all was doing all.
before we went with,
Copy.
High Tech, we were with Hudson, and we had some issues
Yeah.
before, but he tells me that mostly the
I've
billing
never had those
issues, they were a
difficulties.
nightmare. But he assures me that that's no longer there, that everything, and he showed me kind of what that, I mean, that was one of my main pet peeves. I was ready for something else, just because we couldn't keep it straight. And
Right.
it's very important on my accounting side to have it filled out to the correct office.
I think it'd be nice to have something local too, so.
All I've
Yeah.
got
That's
is.
up to
I
Scott.
like that part, big
I
guy.
do too. 'Cause if you need toner, you just walk across the
Schools
street,
using
and they walk.
You know, the school, they got, wait on how many copiers.
Oh my God.
Well, they think this is the school, but also our CAD down here, you know, so.
Oh, they use Benchmark.
Yes. I mean, everybody,
Yeah, that
Southern
just,
Bleachers.
it hasn't been that long ago that
Can
they
you imagine
put
what Southern
local
Bleachers has
register.
to
Oh,
print?
my God.
Goodness.
I mean, how many printers they do have?
Yeah, no kidding.
But that return fee, you're gonna have to weigh that off.
Well, that's one of them deals that I'd be willing to take what we've got left in our deal and do that with, because we've been, as far as I'm concerned, we've been taking advantage of it for a while.
Well, I questioned when we first started, got that property
I
tax,
mean,
that
I mean,
county doesn't pay
yeah.
property tax. That was my pet peeve, and they said, well, on this, you have to.
Say something, hang on.
No, the Southern Chargers is,
He's gonna charge $400 a machine to return.
who's the guy that did the base, what's his name again?
In which one?
Charge $5,000 to change
That was
guns.
one of the, from
The
Grant.
local guy?
Well,
Is it Lana?
I tell you what we're gonna
Last
do,
name's
is
Lana?
either we do it or they do it, we can find out. where
Maybe,
they go.
yeah.
And we can get our own price.
Yeah, he's charging $400 a machine, box them up and return them.
Who is?
I think.
I tell you.
Yeah,
What?
But
The lease runs out here, they are.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's
can.
not what is stated in the lease. It's
I
in
got
the
you
lease
curious,
that
don't
we
I?
signed, that we agreed to that. This new lease won't have it.
They
If you go back,
See, that's another one of them deals.
if you go back with him one more time.
It'll be better after this
wiped
last
out.
one.
It'll be a lot better after this. And sometimes we have to pay the fiddler before we can go play.
But he's got in there that return fee.
Okay, y'all get together and look at them. Tell us something.
Okay. Okay, I'll get Kay and Marcia and myself and.
You probably don't want to come in.
Hey, just for Kay, I'll catch her at tomorrow.
She's right here.
Is it a warrant for arrest?
If
You
it's
can take her
more,
now.
take
Go
her
ahead,
down.
just go ahead.
I'm done.
No, it's,
I'll be down
ticket
there.
being appealed to the
I'll
county.
be down there in a minute.
Oh,
It's near
it
the
could be in the field.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody want to adjourn?
So what's the guy from our local guy? What's his name? Lanham?
That's Kelly Lanham.
Kelly.
Kelly Lanham, Big Black one, that guy's name was Art. Is that right? Art?
Something like that, yeah. He's from Abilene, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of Abilene.
Yeah.
And he's come to my office before, when there was another local gentleman that worked here. He doesn't work for me anymore. He went on to do something else, but he came in and got some information here a while back before we were ready to go out for proposals. And
I think that if, one of them's hope, he'll.
He do.
he does.
Jeff Horner.
So moved, over.
Second.
Adjourned.
Okay. Who made that motion?
I do.
Who's going, second? Pruitt?
Correct.
That was adjourned, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
I brought my expensive paper.
Second.
Sure.
All in favor?